that you ascribe to be so true to who you are, but also, your faith, your health. And God, we all know if you're not healthy, it's going to be hard to get those dollars and cents. And so, broadening the definition of wealth to the tangible assets, but also the intangible assets allows you to get not just the prosperity, but also that peace and personal power, which I do believe encapsulates truly what wealth is.
Well, Charisse, we appreciate you explaining that, because when we're talking about from worth to wealth, prosperity through publishing, and you've written this incredible book, A Wealthy Girl, 7 Steps to Prosperity, Peace, and Personal Power. That's powerful. And when most people think of wealth and worth, they think of the numbers that you were just describing. And so, it's really wonderful to have you join us live in this conversation, because Melissa and I just decided one day, you know what, we have really good informative conversations on our own. Like, what would it look like to share that with our business community and help inspire others in the process? But I think also too, the fact that you're an author, that Melissa published your work, and I'm one of her authors as well, and how we collectively not only publish with Melissa, but how we end up becoming friends and working together. So one other thing, that I mentioned that's really important, and I'm just going to pull your book image up here. Sorry, Melissa. Hey, is that you have a really incredible article that just came out in Cranes. And one of the things that I wanted to highlight is something that, if I may, John Rogers, chairman and co-CEO of Ariel Capital Investments here in Chicago, gave you a really high compliment. He says, the author of Wealthy Girl shows an authentic, vulnerable, bold, and action-oriented voice.
Absolutely. I, first of all, huge fan of John Rogers and respect his life's work. And so it is an honor for him to, read and review my book. And part of what I wanted to convey in writing A Wealthy Girl, 7 Steps to Prosperity, Peace, and Personal Power, is that everyone can claim to be wealthy. Mm. Being wealthy is a state of mind. And being a girl is a mindset that really, I know, right? That makes us feel good, right? Yes. It's a mindset that allows us to leverage many of the things that we do well as girls. And part of that is harnessing the power of our community. It's realizing that we aren't on this journey individually. We're actually in partnership with others. And that's the beauty of bringing people together to further your own wealth goals. Like, that is what I want people to take away, that wealth doesn't have to be transactional, but wealth can be partly, the relationships that you have with other people. And I talk about that in the 7 steps, particularly as it relates to making sure that you have the right environment for creating wealth. And that, I throw out a concept around wealthy circles, which is about bringing together, people who are vested in your success, who doesn't want to be around people who are vested in their success, and allow them and help each other to actually gain the wealth in both aspects, the tangible and the intangible, because people are searching for that peace. People are searching for that personal power.
I wanted to add, I've got another author that is coming up around the bend, he has at least 8 master class support groups. And he said, you can't really grow the way you want to grow or all that's possible without being in relationship with others. So, in networking itself, I'm such a big proponent of connection. And that's the thing, while we were going through the development of your book and I was coaching you, because that's what I do besides being a publisher, we talked about the support circles and how powerful they are. And I wanted to mention, in keeping with that, because I used to develop networking circles, bringing the authors together has been such a wonderful way to also give them lift. And one of the things I notice that I want to bring out too is I don't know of any other publishers, because I was published before by 6 traditional publishers over the years with 15 books. None of them brought their authors together. And that's how you met Saudia.
That's
And
right.
so many wonderful exchanges have happened in the spirit of networking and creating transformational opportunities. Can you mention 1 or 2 things that the support circles have brought about in creating new wealth, extended wealth, whatever, for the people who are in the support circles?
Sure. And I'm so happy you mentioned that, because you hearkened on the transformational word there. I was just in a wealth circle with some new women just over a month ago. And some of the effects of that circle, where 6 women talked about what some of their dreams are. One was starting a new business. One was making sure that what she's doing now in her sort of day-to-day job, she's a doctor, is that can she now also go off and, launch a nonprofit? And so since that time, when we first even initially met, the women have created connections to other women in the wealth circle that is allowing them to further pursue, do more research, speak to other entrepreneurs in that same space, speak to other nonprofit executives. It's just been a beautiful thing to see. In my own family's wealth circle, and we've had a wealth circle for over several years now, we have invested together. We have been able to pool money as a resource to put towards something that we all want, and to share in the savings amongst each other that has been recycled, quite frankly, and is a built-in savings and investing mechanism that is allowing us to do life together, things that we might not normally would have talked about at the dinner table or at Thanksgiving, but we now have dedicated space and time, and breaking down barriers of vulnerability too, that allows us to pursue the things. Because, let's face it, a lot of the barrier that might lie in front of us reaching our goals is fear, or not feeling like people are there to support us. And, wealth circles really help unstick that.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because, in this recent article in Cranes, and I invite people to go and read it because it's really wonderful. There's a quote that you said that despite such roadblocks, you cite a 5-year study that found Black women have more entrepreneurial desire than any other population group. Another study you point out is that one that has found that Black businesses and Black business owners end up accumulating an average of 10 times more household wealth than non-entrepreneurs. And I wanted you to speak to that, because as a serial entrepreneur, I am the executive director for Collaboration Theater Company, which, devises original works for the people, by the people, and we're a social justice company in the neighborhoods in which we serve. Our leadership, we all do something with our passion, right? And mine is in producing and having conversations and motivating others to do and find their passion. What I found is that individuals talk about that side hustle. And I think you may know I'm not into the word hustle as much, because it has a negative connotation. Now, some people do hustle people, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about finding your passion, creating revenue, adding to whatever it is you need to get by, and where there were historically barriers to work, how we as a people were able to, find other ways to generate income. So talk to us a little bit about that, Charisse, and then we know you have a busy day. So
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. I mean, you bring up an important point, because wealth in itself has left out, the traditional definition has left out large swaths of people. And that's been documented historically. We read about some of the wealth inequality in this country, but part of it is the history of systemic inequality, of racism, redlining in this country, the inability of some of our institutions that we held up so high to prevent, Black and brown individuals or women from obtaining wealth in a traditional means. And so that is also, context that is so important, and I think leads to why entrepreneurship is a avenue, particularly for women of color. And that stat that you shared, the data shows that yes, Black women are the fastest growing entrepreneur segment in this country. And that's been the case over the last 5 years, particularly 2014 and 2019, and even now. And part of that, I think, is rooted in the reality that entrepreneurship does provide an opportunity to innovate, create something from nothing, and not have some of the baggage that has prevented some people from getting ahead in the corporate environment. There's still systemic issues in the entrepreneurship world because of the access to financing and sometimes accessing customers at different corporations. But I think we're now in a space where we're trying to provide resources, and this is what I do. I too have a side hustle that I write and I speak in via my Charisse Says platform, but I also by day I help lead a company called Next Street, where we work every single day in trying to remove the barriers around entrepreneurs getting access to capital and resources at the right time. And part of the beauty of being an entrepreneur and being a small business is that, yes, the wealth, particularly if you're Black and brown, can be 10 to 12 times as high. And not only that, when you start a business, you create private sector jobs, you actually invest more in your community. It has spillover effects for entire society, and everybody should want to care about it.
We definitely care about it, and we care about you, which is why we wanted to be able to share with everyone, this awesome book. I recommend individuals, you can see there where you can get it on Amazon. Go out and get the book when you're able. You don't even have to leave your home. You can just order it online. As we are talking about entrepreneurship and with our publisher here in-house, you can also pick up 33 Ways Not to Screw Up Creative Entrepreneurship. Charisse, this has just been an incredible opportunity to take a bite out of our lunch break, right?
Right.
Pick up this conversation. We miss you already here in Chicago, but we know you're not that far away. And anytime, whenever, we'd love to have you back. But for sure, I would say, is there any one thing that you would give just a quick note of inspiration to anyone out there?
Well, before that, I do want to add the idea that Charisse is one of our resident experts, so she will be back, which is very good news.
Yeah.
But the in tandem with that inspiration, I'd like to know if you have a plan for building out training for wealth support circles with the book, with the connection. Wow. Is that going to be something that comes up? Because I think that would be very helpful.
Well, stay tuned. I'll answer the second question first. Stay tuned, Melissa and Saudia. I think there's been overwhelming. It's been humbling to see people gravitate particularly toward those wealth circles and see them, starting in their own families, amongst their own friends, amongst their own professional networks. And so more to come there. And if I was to leave any sign of inspiration to those listening today, it would be to claim that I am wealthy and I deserve it. I deserve to be wealthy. And when you do that, you invoke the power to really surround you. And, I offer these 7 steps in part to help transform, to help change, to help you share that knowledge. Don't keep it to yourself either. Share it with others so that they too might be wealthy, and we collectively can live our best lives that we deserve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate. We're very fortunate to have Charisse not only as a resident expert, a subject matter expert. She is a tremendous individual, a beautiful soul, and we really celebrate this work that she has put out into the world for you to not only enjoy, but to learn from, and hopefully, have some form of inspiration by reading this text and by finding a different way to do things.
Definitely. But it's a gift, and the 7 steps you can follow and start your wealth circles today, and really roll through that opportunity, roll into the opportunity of all that's possible for you. It's also a spiritual book, which is wonderful. You know, it feeds the soul.
It does. It feeds the soul. And speaking of, Melissa, we have several books here that you have recently put into the market, and we have more to follow.
Yes. We have 2 more that just came out, which is one on how to not to screw up your journalism, and one on cybersecurity by a cybersecurity expert who actually went to law school with me. So that was a really nice reconnection. And we have more coming. There should be about 10 out by September. So these are those beautiful wisdom nuggets that you can learn today, implement tomorrow. They're not heavy reads, they're useful reads. All the fat has been taken out. It's all the lean wisdom.
Lean wisdom. I love it.
That's a good thing, right? So very exciting. And we're going to have mention again, we'll have somebody special on next time, a couple weeks from now.
Yes, I give you your flowers today. Why wait? Yes. Why wait for tomorrow, right?
That's right. Ooh, those are beautiful.
They are peonies, which are my favorite. And, I think, having had this opportunity to have this conversation today, I hope that it inspires someone who's searching, right? Mm-hmm. And that while you're searching, you have tools. We all have tools. Mm-hmm. Oh, why not just pull one other one out? We have tools that you can actually, like Melissa said, you can either get it on Amazon or you can get it at a bookstore, and be able to inspire your vision into a reality. So thank you for joining us in such a short snippet. We're here every other Tuesday. Mm-hmm.
And if you, for anyone who wants, I just put up a new blog post too. If you want, you can be part of the world of networlding and learn more about writing and publishing, wealth to worth and prosperity through publishing by going to networlding.com and look at any of the 800 blog posts, sign up for the newsletter, get involved in the support. To me, I don't do anything without also combining it with support. I'm not going to leave people high and dry. We're books and more that make the world better. Networlding Publishing, and we hope we can be of service to you. So thank you.
Yes, together we thrive. We share our conversations with you in hopes that maybe something in you will spark, and it'll be a quick spark. So take your day, take it away, make it great, and we'll see you not next week, but the week after.